Oh, sorry, Mr. Chocolate Pudding. Thank you for waiting. I just came straight from surgery. It didn't go well. But what are we seeing you for today? No problem. Just a yearly physical. Okay, physical, simple enough. Did you fast? I did. And actually my wrist has been bothering me lately too. Okay, so physical and wrist pain. Is there anything else? Nope, that's all. Well, I do have this rash on my leg as well. Okay, so the physical, the wrist pain, and rash. Is that everything? Nope, that's everything. I did kind of meet this lady at a bar, and now it sort of burns when I pee, you know. Yeah, of course you did. But that's everything. Except the fact I've been kind of craving human flesh lately. Seriously, man, what the hell? Alright, it's a weird thing. Hey, where'd you get that leg from? I brought it from home. Ah! What's going on, everyone? How are we doing today? Welcome back to VHS on Tape. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to VHS on Tape. If this is your first time, on this channel I do movie reviews for horror movies that were made in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Also, I just wanted to mention, if you do find yourself liking this video, then why don't you give it a thumbs up? Likes on videos really do help me out with YouTube. It determines if it wants to suggest my videos or not, so if you do like it, because you like it, you'd actually really be helping me out. Also, I just wanted to let you know that in the description there's a link to an audio treat for this video. I won't say any more about it, but I will just say you're welcome. Well, spring is certainly in the air, and you know what else is? Adultery. Yeah, that's right. Which leads us to today's movie, Flesh-Eating Mothers. And there is a decent chance that this might become one of your new favorite horror movies. Well, probably not, but it sounds good to say. Flesh-Eating Mothers came out on September 16th, 1988 and weighs in at 1 hour and 29 minutes. So what I do like about this movie is that it doesn't try to take itself too seriously, and I really just kind of felt like doing a silly movie, so here we are. Also, just a heads up that there is a bit of gore in this one. I think most of it is done comically, but it is in there, so you have been warned, in case that is something you don't really like. It was directed by James Aveles Martin. He also directed Art Watch and Diego! No, that's how you pronounce it. They put an exclamation point on it, so that's how you do it. Martin also wrote it along with Zev Schlesinger, which sounds made up, but they also wrote Playback back in 1994. The plot is that an STD turns housewives in suburban Baltimore into vicious cannibals. Well, I'm sure you don't want to wait any longer, so let's get into the movie that is Flesh-Eating Mothers.
Thought you were on a diet.
The movie starts off pretty fantastically by seeing this guy run onto the screen and... I love the fact that he didn't realize his arm was gone until he looked down and saw it. Like I said, it's a fun movie. Once he realizes his arm is gone, he takes off again, and we see this lady behind him. After he collapses, she comes up behind him, and he shoots her. Then we get the opening sequence, followed up with a happy little tune being played over a drawing of the suburbs. Then we meet Roddy Douglas, played by Louis Homiak. He was in Stuck on You and Waitress. Again, exclamations on both of these. Man, seems like writers are kind of just handing these out like candy on Halloween. We find out that he is cheating on his wife.
I know. You miss it from your wife.
With Booty Burnett, played by Grace Pettyjohn. And nothing else for her. She tries to persuade him to stay, but he leaves anyways. But we do find out the excuse he uses to get out of the house.
Well, tell her what you told her yesterday, that you've been out jogging.
Watching him from across the street is Rinaldi Vivaldo. He's played by Neil Rosen. And again, nothing else for him. He has a conversation with his mom where we find out that his household is a little dysfunctional.
I don't want you having any fun.
Before we meet Clyde McDormick, played by Mickey Ross. His only other credit is Pieces of Peace. We also meet his ex-wife Lois, played by Mary Michaels. She was also in True Love and Goodfellas. They talk about their son Billy and who he should live with.
For Christ's sakes, every time I see you, you're drunk.
We don't need you.
Then we meet Linda Douglas. She's played by Donatella Hecht. Wait, am I reading that right? Oh, okay, yeah. Donatella it is then. And no other acting credits for her. Walking with her is her friend Joyce Shepard, played by Valerie Hubbard. And she's actually had the most work of anyone else in this movie, with 64 acting credits, including The Barber and Henry Fool. Before meeting Jeff Nathan, played by Robert Lee Oliver. His only other credit is Caesar and Otto Meet Dracula's Lawyer. Kinda interested to see that one. Cut back to Roddy getting ready to go jogging again, and we see that he's Linda's dad. We also meet her mom, Sylvia. She's played by Catherine Mayfield. Her other credit is The Unbelievable Truth. Sylvia asks why he's going jogging again when he already did earlier, especially since he has work to do. He says to stay fit and gives a nice little play on words.
I'll tell you what, I'll just make it a quickie.
Then we meet Timmy and Johnny Nolan. Timmy is the one getting his ass kicked. He's played by Terry Hayes, and, well, nothing else for him. We also meet his mom, and I don't know who she is. They don't say her character name in the movie, and there isn't a Mrs. Nolan in the credits, so I guess I'll just go ahead and call her Petunia. Cut to Clyde talking to the coroner, Dr. Lee Growley. He's played by Michael Feuer. No other acting work for him, but he did direct 66 episodes of Plim Plim, A Heart's Hero. Watching them is Hitchcock, played by Morty Kleidermacher. Nope, nothing else for him either. As they're talking, in comes the guy from the beginning, Commissioner Dixon. He's played by Ken Eaton. He was in Dead Boys Can't Fly and The Boy Who Cried Bitch. That's a name for you, right? He makes sure everything is up to snuff, then takes off. Then Clyde explains that Dixon was never the same after his accident, and that
A bear attacked him while he was on a hunting trip with his wife. He tried to shoot the bear, but tripped and shot his wife instead.
But Clyde never found any evidence of a bear. He also adds in,
Before you came along, there was another coroner. He disappeared the next day, gone without a trace.
So there's a couple things going on in this scene. First, the phenomenal acting being done by Lee,
What do you mean?
What are you getting at?
and the special effects used for the wife's head. Now, I'll freeze it here for us. I think that they thought it was going to be an awesome shot, but once they actually saw what the head looked like, they decided just to show it for a split second. Either way, A for effort, right? Got to some moms playing cards, and, well, we get even more characters for me to introduce. Excellent. We have Booty in the blue. She's the mistress from the beginning. To her left is Rinaldi's mom, Rita, played by Suzanne Ehrlich? No, nothing else for her either. She's talking about how every time she looks at her son, she sees his convict father. To her left is Joyce's mom, Mrs. Shepard, played by Allie Neinstein. She was also in The Suckling and The Stone Channel. Booty steers the conversation a different direction.
Now tell me, how's your sex life?
When she finds out that both of the other two have also slept with Roddy as well. Well, don't ask questions you don't want answers to, right? Cut to, oh good, another new character. This is Joyce's boyfriend, Frankie Lemonjello. And that's a great name, by the way. I mean, it's great because they put a lot of thought into it. Hi, my name is Vito Blueberry Pie. He's played by Tony DeRiso. His other credit is The Three Phases of Fern. Now, there's no point to the scene other than to introduce Frankie, so moving on. Next, we see Jeff going home to his loving father. And when he goes inside, we meet his mom, Mrs. Nathan. She's played by Grace Gothrop. She was also in Afghan Hound and Break Up at a Wedding. Clearly, we see that Jeff's dad beats his mom. Cut to Lois eating a feast when her son Billy comes home and asks what's for dinner.
I'm home. What's for dinner?
Then we see the Douglases having a conversation about their sex life where Roddy suggests that maybe they have an open marriage. And Sylvia responds with,
I'm so hungry.
well, she didn't say no, so... Switch to Clyde going to visit Billy, and when he goes upstairs, we see this. is awesome. I mean, Lois ate their kid. Even knowing that they turn into cannibals, you assume the little kids will be safe. Nope, not in this movie. Whew. Clyde tries shooting her with no success until finally he shoots her in the head and we get a great sound effect. We see the cops have shown up and they tell Dixon that Clyde has gone crazy and killed his wife. Dixon says to arrest him. Cut to, how many damn characters are there in this movie? This is Dr. Bass. He's played by Alan Rickman. He was in Slime City and Shock! 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 Like I said, handing them out like candy. He's telling Roddy that his STD test came back clean. After Roddy leaves, Felicia Codd comes in. Alright, that's it. This is the last one I'm gonna introduce. Okay, playing her is Carolyn Grash? I don't know how the hell to say that one. No other work for her. She tells Dr. Bass that in Roddy's test results, she saw a strange virus, and he tells her,
Is what you saw syphilis or gonorrhea?
No, it isn't, but doctor...
Then don't bother me.
Then he follows it up with,
You know we don't treat anything else.
cut to Roddy jogging, and we see the Nathans on their normal Tuesday night. Roddy consoles her, but he has nefarious motives.
Let me help you into the house. John's not coming home soon, is he?
Man, he doesn't care what shape they're in. He'll bang anything. Next, we see that Roddy has escaped and that there's an APB out for him. He goes to see Lee, where he explains that Dixon took his family's bodies away before he could do a full exam, but that he did find his son's flesh in his ex-wife's teeth. Lee does say that he did manage to take a blood sample and culture before the bodies were taken away. Cut to Sylvia watching over her baby when Linda comes home to this.
Hi, Mom.
So another kid is gone. It's great. Then we get this weird-ass song as Linda runs away. Cut to Joyce and her mom, and we see her mom has also now too developed a healthy appetite. Joyce makes sure her mom is coming to that dinner tonight and adds in,
Mother, please don't do anything that would embarrass me.
Perhaps a little foreshadowing maybe. Switch to Linda seeing her dad and Booty going into a bar and making out. Doesn't it suck when you find out certain people are, just regular people? Kind of like the first time you saw one of your teachers at the grocery store and you were like, oh, yeah, I guess they're just a normal person. I mean, obviously this is much worse for Linda's situation. I don't really know what that story had to do with anything. When she leaves, she literally runs into Jeff and he asks her what's wrong. They go to a bench and he tells her that he's running away because his mom won't leave his dad. Linda tells him about her dad and that...
I saw my mother eating my baby brother.
Okay, alright, whoa, it's not a contest. I mean, if it was, it'd be like, what, who's got the shittiest life? You don't want to win that. Jeff talks her into running away with him, and they each go home to grab some clothes. Cut to Rinaldi's house, where his mom has made him some mashed potatoes. She said she put a lot of milk in them to make them extra creamy. Then she asks him if he knows where veal comes from. She explains,
Milk-fed baby cows.
She also adds in,
And they don't feed him anything but milk, so that he's really soft by the time they kill him.
before offering him a glass of milk. And what I love about this scene is even without the music, you can tell where it's going just by his mom's questions. Then we get there and she bites his head. So Rinaldi decides to run away too. Jeff gets home and we hear his parents fighting, and when his dad goes to show his love, his mom stops him. Which kind of shows us that the moms have also gotten super strong. Then we get some unexpectedly good effects as Jeff's dad gets killed. Then we see Timmy's mom is also taken to eating his brother. Cut to Jeff walking down the street where he sees Rinaldi.
I ain't coming back. Building a shack down by the old railroad track like old man Johnson.
And I do have to say that Rinaldi's probably one of my favorite characters in this movie. I mean, come on, a shack down by the railroad? That's fantastic. Jeff invites him along, and as they are talking, Timmy comes along and everybody finds out that their moms have eaten people.
She's never done anything like this before.
Now that's a great response. Jeff says that now they can't run away because they have to stop their mothers. Cut to Lee telling Clyde that he's found some sort of virus in his ex-wife's sample, but he's never seen anything like it. Dixon shows up and asks if he's seen Clyde. Before he leaves, he steals the files on Lois. Then we get some more great acting.
Leave that to me.
But Clyde, it's too dangerous.
Lee goes to see Bass, who tells him that he's just too busy to look at his sample. When he leaves, Nurse Cod tells him that she found the same thing in Roddy's test. Then she just gives out his personal information like an exclamation point on a movie title. She tells him that she would love to help him figure it out. Cut to Clyde breaking into Dixon's office, where we also get this nice little exchange.
You know, Biff, I finally shot my dog.
Really? Was he mad?
He wasn't too happy.
Crazy right, man.
Then cut to the coalition dinner, where we see the moms feasting, and when a couple of other ladies comment on it, this happens. And for some reason, Joyce gets embarrassed by this.
Oh, Mother, how could you?
Well, you know teenagers, I mean, it doesn't really take much to embarrass them. So everyone takes off, and the mom starts to stalk Joyce and Frankie. Cut to Clyde. By the way, this music is actually pretty good. Anyways, Clyde finds the file on Dixon's wife. Then we see Frankie and Joyce hiding from her mom when Rinaldi shows up. Rinaldi explains what's going on with the moms, and they head out. Cut to Timmy's house, where they plan for Timmy to call his mom out, and Jeff will knock her out. But when she comes out, Timmy loses his nerve and alerts his mom. So their plan fails, and they take off. We cut back to the trio when Frankie says that he has to go to the bathroom. As he's answering the call of nature, Linda's mom shows up, and the three of them take off, and we get this awesome line from Rinaldi.
You know, my mother told me never to deck a lady, but she didn't say shit about a cannibal.
As they go to leave, Frankie gets trapped by the moms, and he dies. Cut to Lee and Cod looking at a blood sample, where they determine
Is inactive in males, but harmfully active in females who've had children.
Again, I mean, you know, those are some pretty serious graphics right there. Switch back to the kids explaining that they didn't make any progress with their moms when Clyde shows up and he tells them to go to Lee's office when Hitchcock shows up and decides to open fire on Clyde. So he's dead. Timmy decides that they have to kill their moms, but the rest of them decide to go to talk to Lee. They tell Lee that Clyde said Dixon's wife had the virus too. When Lee goes to talk to Dixon, we find out that Dixon had an affair, and that's how his wife got the virus. Lee tells Dixon that he's going to tell the papers everything in the morning, and after he leaves, we see this.
Hello, Hitchcock. I want you to take care of him like you did the other coroner.
Then we see Hitchcock waiting for Lee, and when he gets ready to take him out, the moms show up, and we get the longest death scene yet, and, well, probably the goriest too. And I gotta say, for the low budget of the movie, these effects are pretty dang good. Plus we see that the moms are starting to look more like monsters than mothers. Timmy watches this happen, and after the moms leave, he grabs Hitchcock's gun. Cut back to Lee's office, and Nurse Cod says she thinks she found a cure for the moms. Lee gives each kid a syringe for their mom and goes to drop them off. Then we see Sylvia and Petunia walking along, having a chat like it's just another day.
I don't remember if I unplugged the iron before I left the house. Oh, I hate when that happens.
Which is a good move. I mean, yeah, sure, they're cannibals, but they still have regular life stuff to take care of, too. Jeff and Linda come across Jeff's and Rinaldi's moms, and they decide to have Linda distract Rita while Jeff gives his mom the shot. Cut to Timmy watching Petunia and Sylvia, who have decided to look for some food, when they find a cat and decide to go halfsies. Timmy gets ready to shoot his mom when Lee shows up and stops him and gives his mom the shot. Then we get a montage of the rest of the moms getting the shots until all of them are vaccinated. While the moms are doing some window shopping, Dixon shows up.
There you are, you mothers.
But before he can shoot them, Joyce's mom sneaks up on him and he ends up being chased by them. Then we get a ridiculous scene of him being attacked in a phone booth. Oh, okay, so for those of you that are younger, phone booths used to be these, like, standalone things that had phones in them. You know, back when cell phones weren't really a thing. So you go in and you put a quarter in and you can call everyone. Usually they had a phone book kind of attached to them. Generally they also kind of smelled like urine too. But, you know, that just came with the territory. He ends up getting away, but they chase him down an alley. He gets trapped at a dead end and the rest of the cops show up. As he's fending the moms off, everyone else shows up and the kids get in the way so the cops can't shoot their moms. Lee uses this to get Dixon to admit what he's been up to. When Lee asks about the old coroner, Dixon gives a pretty smart answer.
How much you know?
I mean, really, it is a good idea to find out how much the other person knows first. He tells them that he had the coroner killed. Then the moms start to transform back into their old selves, and the music is good here. The kids, being very trusting of the cure, all go in for hugs. I mean, personally, I might have given it another minute or two, but that's just me. Dixon gets arrested, and Rinaldi and his mom have a great exchange.
What is the meaning of all this?
What's the meaning of all this? If you knew all the shit I went through to save your ass and now...
Lee asks how Nurse Cod found a cure so fast, and she says it was basically penicillin. The movie ends the way it started, with Roddy in Booty's bedroom. As he's talking about how great an open marriage is, we see that Booty has finally transformed too, and Roddy gets seriously messed up. Again, I mean, great special effects here. Then we hear on the radio that,
though no reason has been given to the cause of this terrible phenomenon, experts insist that all cannibals are females and are apparently mothers.
And now for some fun facts. This was shot in 4 weeks. But the opening scene with old One Arm was filmed a year after principal shooting on the movie had wrapped. Post-production on this movie took 2 years to do. This movie might deter you from MILFs. Maybe not. So, would I recommend Flesh-Eating Mothers?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, man, I mean, it's a fun movie. It knows it's a low-budget movie, and it doesn't try to take itself too seriously. Plus, I mean, it has some pretty surprisingly good special effects. So if you go in with the right expectations, you'll probably enjoy it. I mean, if nothing else, it is a good movie to watch if you're having a couple of drinks. I will put a link in the description where you can check it out for free. I mean, at least at the time I recorded this. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought. Have you seen the movie? Did you like it? In my last review, I looked at a movie called Poor Pretty Eddie, so I'll put a link up so you can check that out as well. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.